This episode is brought to you by our fearless sponsor, Choircast, the podcast network that's basically the hidden immunity idol of audio storytelling. They back the bold, the curious, and the people who probably wouldn't make it past day 3 without coffee. Thanks, Choircast, for helping us keep the fire burning even after our torches got snuffed. Well, mine anyway. Todd won.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Torch. I am Todd Herzog with Leslie Neese, and we have a super awesome guest here for you today. I love this man. I think he's one of the funniest people I've ever met. He can tell you stories for hours, and we're so excited to have him.
Yay!
Welcome, Troyzan.
Troyzan, the one and only from Survivor One World and Survivor Game Changers. So happy you're here, Troyzan. How are you?
I'm good. I just I was earlier. It's been pouring rain here because tropical. I live in the tropical weather. I live south of Miami, actually more towards the Keys, so it's even more tropical. And I live near the Everglades, so it's rain every day. So I was telling you guys earlier, I got bug city going on in my house. So I got to stop it somehow.
And you don't want to kill him. That's my favorite part is you don't want to kill him, but you can't have bugs all over your house.
Wild animals that are just showing up. Like I look at the back window all day, and like this 5-foot iguana that's just cruising across the like, where'd he come from? He's just wild, just looking around for food. I mean, I got a fox running around. I got Squirrel City. I've turned into like this nature guy. Like I got like a family of Squirrel Town. You named him. I've named
it's so on brand for you, Troyzan. I love it. It's amazing.
I've given them survivor names. Like, hey Amanda, how's it going? Oh, hey.
Well, it's the opposite problem of me and Todd because we live in Utah and we're in a drought. So, there needs to be a happy medium someplace. But
weather. I grew up in Washington State, so we have similar weather too. The mountains, are in the mountains, kind of, right, or surrounded by mountains.
Yeah, we're in the mountains. It's beautiful. Well, okay, so we like to start each episode off with the fans have spoken. I love hearing from the fans how the show has changed their life. Maybe there was a scene that kind of, stirred your heart or even changed the trajectory. It's crazy how many people will say this show actually changed the trajectory of their life, not just if they played it, but if they watched it. And so today I'm actually going to read because, sometimes people leave a voicemail. We do have a voicemail box. It's in the show notes. Go click on it. Tell us what you love about Survivor. Tell us what you learned or a scene that like you just can't get out of your mind. You can't get enough of it. All of that is important. But if you don't feel like leaving a voicemail, you can always leave us a message. And that's right there in our social media. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok or Beyond the Torch. Is it Beyond the Torch at gmail.com or Beyond the Torch podcast? I'll make sure it's in the show notes. Okay. So this is from Sean. And Sean said, this is so cool. My life, my mind, and my perspective all changed from Survivor. It checks every box. Survivor has always been a joy for me because it meant that once a week, I could sit down with my family, enjoy dinner, some thrills, and each other's company, rooting for our favorite players, enjoying the new twists and turns, and hoping our favorite Castaway would win became almost ritualistic. It had its darker moments. Be careful when you meet your heroes, right? Ooh, I need to dig into that a little bit. But even through it all, the bonds I form with my family and even some former castmates have been well worth it. So thanks for sharing that, Sean. That's so true. I think that's a big thing in the Survivor community.
Yeah, I get a feeling that anybody who watches Survivor is very similar to that feeling of what he just said. I mean, myself as well, even though I played twice, I still am a fan. And I still remember when I was a fan and I was like that guy. Like this is when it was on Thursday nights, right?
Yeah.
It's on Wednesdays now, right?
Yeah.
So it was Thursday nights. I'm like, Thursday night. There's nothing else. No one knew. Don't call Troy.
Yeah.
That's when I was Troy too. I wasn't even Troyzan. So it was like, I know how it feels to be a fan, and it just wasn't. I just was mesmerized by it. I just don't know what it was. I can't put my finger on it, but it was like watching real people in a situation where it's like nothing like it what I had ever seen before. And I've always been a nature outdoor guy. So that was even another, like, okay, people on an island, running around naked, like Richard Ash.
See, and that's the funny thing is I feel like you were made to play Survivor.
Yeah,
like you were meant for this game. When did you audition or how did you get cast for the show?
Funny that you say that because Jeff Probst, when I finally made it, said that. He goes, Troyzan just looks like a survivor. He just part like he's got the, from the jungle. He's family of marmoset monkeys. I mean, come on, his name's Troyzan. So I was just like, I remember it was the summer of 2000, right? That's when it first.
Yep.
I didn't live where I live now, and I had this little TV, literally this big. I flipped it on, and I saw this, show pop up, and the music started, and that theme song, and I see the faces pop, Richard, and then and Joel, and everybody that popped. I'm like, what is this? And I just was. The second I heard that song, the second I saw him, like I was like,
yeah.
And when it went on, I just, the first episode, I'm like, oh my God, they're jumping over, they're shipwrecked, and they're going like whatever this is. I'm like, I got to be a part of this. I didn't even know if it was like this is just going to be a one and done.
Right.
I say, is this a series? Is this a movie? I didn't know what it was, but I just was like, oh my God, this is it. So I watched that first season. I was stuck, like everybody else, and people watching the finale, and it just was one of these like, I don't know what it actually is. It's just, is it take us back to like when we were cavemen, that, we'll cut down to the basics.
Yes.
All you need is food and shelter and some fire. And then that's it. And then the dynamics of like this social thing where you're actually trying to win $1 million, that throws in the extra monkey wrench. And I'm like, okay, however I can sign up. This is back in the day. There was no like, I think I didn't even have an email then. So I'm like, I didn't know how do I get a hold of these people? This is when you made a tape VHS,
yes,
and sent it in along with like 200,000 other ones, like a lot.
Oh yeah, I remember doing the exact same thing, Troyzan.
Yeah,
yes.
Obsessed.
The next day after it was finished, I said, I had my buddy like, get the old camera, it was old style, video
The
camera.
freaking boombox size.
iPhone. There was no iPhone. There was none of that. Your phone didn't even take a recording. So these are like old school. And I remember jumping in the pool that I had, and I caught a lizard and went up to this. I have a family of marmoset monkeys, and I fed them the lizard. They're eating the lizard, and I'm like talking about monkeys are like survivors, and they're like. So I got a call. Like 2 weeks later. Hey, we're coming to Miami. This is when they used to do like semifinals.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Major city would see 20, 25 people. So, hey, we're coming to Miami. And I thought I'm in instantly. I'm like, other than go to Miami, I'm on the show.
Was this after season 1?
This is season 2. After
season 2.
Really?
After season 2. Wow. You were called that early?
Yeah. I was called. Well, I mean, and throughout the years, I was called 5 times as a semifinalist.
What?
Yeah, from the time I applied, which is right after the first season, or was it right after the second season? I got called. On my fridge, I have all the letters from the casting.
No way.
Like, we want to come see your semifinals, and then the note like, sorry, you didn't make it this season, blah blah blah. I have them all. There's like season 3, season 5, season 6, season 11. I was a finalist for Guatemala.
What?
Wow.
Out to LA. I'm like, when that happened, I'm like, okay, for sure I'm on the show. And then I went through that whole process, and it was like, I had real short hair then. I thought like, I just wasn't myself. I was like, what do they want? Like, what are they looking for? Because at this point, it's like season 11, Guatemala, and I've been called 5 times, a semifinalist. Like, I'm like, I know I can get on. I know this show's made for me. I got to get on. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And so it's like, I went out there and then went through the process, and then I got the call. It's unfortunately you didn't make it, blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of said, that's it. Like, you don't need to send another tape anymore. We've seen you. And I was like, kind of, well, meaning it, like, I'm like, I was the finalist, and that, no, I'm done. Like, like, I'm not good enough. I'm like, oh my God. So like for a week, I was just bummed. Like, my career is over. Like, I can't never get on. Then I'm like, nope, that's not it. I know I'm on this show, and there's something in my gut that just said, don't give up. Doesn't matter if they see your tape or not. So every year for the next 6 years, I'd send it 2 tapes a year. Knowing if someone saw it.
How much do I love this? I love this.
Like this guy, I didn't know, but I'm like, I will not give up. The only reason I won't get on this show if I stop. So if I get bored or if I get bummed out enough and I stop, I won't, but I will make it. So it was like the summer of, I don't know, I was in Fiji. And I was I'm a photographer, and I was working with Sports Illustrated swimsuit. The whole team knew how bad I wanted to get on this show. And so they're like, Troy, you've got to use some of our girls in your audition tape. We'll make the greatest audition tape ever. The video guy, who's a professional, said, let's go at lunchtime and let's just film you on the island doing the thing. And let's make the best video audition tape you can do. I did that in 2010, sent it in. And I thought for sure they have to notice this. They have to. So I always kept track, like, okay, the next season's coming. Oh my God, it's not. And I was getting more bummed out. January, February, March, no call. It's July. I'm like, oh, they've already picked for this season. I'm just like,
Oh my gosh.
how can this be? Midnight, my phone rings, July like 20th, right?
No.
And my phone rings. I'm like, call me at midnight. I like the answer machine get that. Then my cell phone rang. I'm like, well, I don't want to get up. I just let voicemail. Then they dinged like for an email notification. I'm like, somebody really wants to get a hold of me. I grabbed the phone and I opened the email. Hey, Troy, this is Lynn Spillman. Are you still available for Survivor? I was just like, ah! I just like was like called in, like, you know, it was midnight my time, like 9 o'clock. I'm like, Lynn. She goes, hey, Troy. I go, Lynn, I'm ready. And she goes, relax, slow down. You know, we're gonna have you come out, and it's like we're down to like the final people. I mean, we're basically, you know, gonna be leaving in a couple of weeks to the island. I'm like, okay, what do I got to do? She goes, yeah, you still have to come out here. It's going to be a quicker finals, not like the last time. You know, you're going to see the CBS executives, and this could be it. I'm like, oh my,
I got chills. I'm so excited right now. You're
so
such a good
great.
storyteller, Troyzan. I can't believe they waited so long to get you.
So it's like 11 years had passed, right? Since I
Holy
national, 11 years I've been waiting. So the excitement in my gut, I couldn't control it. And she goes, you gotta relax, Troy. You gotta relax. You're coming out here, we'll fly you out here. I get there, she interviews me. She goes, oh my gosh, you look great. You know, your hair's longer. Whatever you do, don't wear what you're wearing now, and don't do anything to your hair when you see the CBS executives tomorrow. That's the final. They're the final people. And it was down to like, it was me, and actually Troyzan was in. I didn't know who he was at the time, and a couple other girls. We go to CBS, and I'm, you know, the studios, and we're in the bus, and I look over, I see CBS studios. I'm just like, oh, this is it, right? This is it. Be 100% yourself. I just kept saying, be yourself, be yourself. Don't, it doesn't matter. So they say, they get us in this room, and they say, you're going to go see the execs. You know, these are the top people at CBS. There's like 10 of them, and just go down the hall, and they'll be in the room. So I walk down this hall. He goes, Troy, it's your turn to walk. I walk in. There's one chair like this, and then there's like a couch and a bunch of them. And I didn't even wait for them to ask me a question. I just sat down. I said, do you people have any idea how long I've been waiting to sit here right now, right in front of you people? And they're like, what? I said, do you know how long it's been since I've been waiting to sit here in front of you CBS people? Why I used to be on this show. This is my show. And they're like, what? I said, over 4,000 days. 4,000. There's not a person in other conference room or in America that's been waiting longer than me. I am on the show. And they're just like looking at me. And I can see Lynn's going, she's laughing, and I can see her kind of, this is good. So we go on. And they're like, well, it says here in your bio, you know, live in 10 acres. You're kind of a recluse. You live by yourself. You just got a family of marmoset monkeys. And this is a social community. How are you going to deal with people? And I'm like, well, that's not really hard. And I looked at the one guy, and I'm like, well, you're a primate, and she's a primate, and that guy's a primate, and I'm a primate. So I don't have a problem with primates. like this guy. And I can see I wasn't holding anything back. I wasn't trying to be funny. I just was like, I know I'm meant to be on this show. And then they asked me a few other questions. It was like season 25 was airing, and they had a lot of like, you know, a lot of people praying on the show. They go, what do you think about all the prayers and this? You know, everybody, each to their own. Everybody has their own religious beliefs, and if they think that Jesus is next to around the palm tree and helping out, that's good. I said, listen, I grew up Catholic and I went to private school. You know, I've read the Bible from front to back. I said, I'm not religious like that anymore, but you know, guess what? I'm going to let those people, when I go out on I believe that I'm Jesus Christ himself. And they're like,
they like that answer.
They just like, what? And Lynn goes like this, like cut, like just get the hell.
Shut up before you ruin this.
No, more like that's good. That was unbelievable what you said. Like I could see her laughing. I just got up and left. I didn't know if they liked. I didn't know anything. They said we'll get a hold of you. I left, went home. Day 1 goes by, day 2, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me! Like day 3, and then day 4, I get a phone call, and I look and see it's like the private. I mean, I know it's Lynn, and she's like, "Hey Troy," she's full calm voice. "Hey Troy, is this Lynn? And just want to let you know." And the executives have made the decision, and it's just like, and it seemed like a minute, like just no.
That is cruel.
Oh man, like, oh, and I'm thinking, dear God, please do not let this. And she goes, and they love you, and they want you on the show. And I just start screaming. I've been running around the backyard, and she goes, "Oh, stop! You got to get your clothing. You got to get, you got like a week." I'm like, God, we made it. It was like, I know it's a long story, but it's like.
I love that story. That is so good. Oh, and honestly, the memories just by you talking about that, I remember making it to the, CBS finals and going into the room with Mark Burnett and the CBS executives and sitting there. And it was crazy because Mark Burnett looked at me and he was like, "You are too small. You're not athletic. How are you going to do this? There's no way you'll survive out there." And I was like, "I may be small and I may be an indoor dog, but I'm tough." And he said, "Prove it." And I just rolled my sleeve up and I kissed my bicep and he laughed and said, "Get out." And I left. And I guess that worked.
You never know.
How I think they jab you and push you. Because I never jabbed the same thing. He's like, he goes, "What's up with that shirt you're wearing? It's all tight. What do you think you're all that?" And I'm kind of like, and then somebody else would ask me a question, not even giving me a chance to answer. I'm like, I think they want to frustrate you to see what you're going to be like. Like, how are you going to really respond? We don't really know you yet. I mean, they don't really know you till you take all those tests. It's like, then they know you better than yourself. But it's like, so I just finally was like just myself. And I have a story to tell any fan I meet, anybody that wants, people get a hold of me all the time. "Hey, will you watch my video? Will you do this?" I said, "Listen, because yes, of course I will. I know what you're going through. And I feel like not what it takes, but it's like, just, I can tell like my old videos, like why I did make it. I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't.
Exactly.
I was trying to be a survivor. I was trying to, be this guy or that guy. No, just be yourself." And even when I went out, I didn't try to, where people say, "Well, I'm going to fake people out and tell them I'm this or I'm that," or how it goes. Everyone tries to be somebody else, but like on Survivor, you can't. And I think we all know that, like, on day whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoever you are in here, not this thing that you present to the world or what you've been presenting for your whole life, the real person, even whether it's good or bad, comes out. It just does. It's from starvations, it's from not sleeping, it's from dealing with other people. And you're like, either you start to see it when you watch the show, or you're like, "Well, yeah, that's really me, I guess."
Yeah, it's kind of a jagged pill at times. You're like, "Whoa,
well,
that was me." Wow.
Hold anything back. I said a lot of stuff that probably, if I look back, go, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that about women." That was now I'm a misogynist. Like, no, I'm not. But it's like, it's like out there, I didn't check my words. I told myself, just be yourself, no matter what. Don't check your words. Don't check what you're doing. Don't think that you're on. I mean, I really never paid attention to camera guys. They were almost like became the trees.
It's part of the environment. Yeah.
You're like, didn't it? In the first days, it was weird. They're just right on top of you. But after a while, they don't talk to you much. They're just there. They're there, but you don't stop yourself.
We called them the bushes.
Yeah.
Like, because after a while, that's all they are, is they're just
there. I think some of the people now that play are more aware of the cameras and more aware of like what's going on, because they're like, "Well, this is going to be good on my social media." We didn't have that. With social media, I wasn't trying to do something for later. I was doing it for now.
That moment.
Well, okay. Speaking of that, what was the show? Being a castaway on your favorite show of all time that you knew you would get on, was it everything you thought it would be and more, or was it a little harder, a little easier? How did it end up being for you?
I think at first it was different because I expected it to feel like what I was watching TV. When I'm there, it was the times where it's like the in between going to or the shut the camera off. Or I'm like, this isn't Survivor. This is weird. This feels weird. Like, it just, I had to get used to the fact, like, once I got used to the cameras, or, the stopping of, us playing like Lockdown and this kind of stuff, the production part, I knew nothing. All I knew was, like, obey the production because they know what they're doing and don't go against them. And I was one of these, like, if they said be quiet or you can't talk at Ponderosa, I'm like, it took me 11 years. I'm not saying a word. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to do anything. So I was like, I will do anything you say. I had to get used to that, just because it's just so interesting to watch it. And then you're playing it. And then when you're playing, they're filming all the time. And then you're thinking, well, when I watch it, I'm going to see everything. And then when you watch it, you see
this nothing.
I mean, this, like, that really didn't happen that way. That guy, he didn't really roll his eyes then. He rolled his eyes 2 episodes ago, and he just edited it and spliced it in.
Yeah.
So that was hard to get, but it was, honestly, because I always went out and I would have played for free. Honestly, I would have. We were like, what are you, stupid? And I would have, because I wanted the adventure. And I always told myself, I told the producers, I want this adventure. I need this adventure for my life. I need to know what it's like to not starving like a person that hasn't eaten in weeks, but it's like I always felt like I was on the brink of starvation. No sleep. I slept 2 to 3 hours a night for the entire on both seasons. Freezing cold at night, even though I'm on an island. Like, I made the mistake of, like, I just sit like a Tommy Bahama short sleeve shirt. Like, that's the dumb. And the other guys are got like hoodies, and, like, Jonas had like a sushi chef jacket, warm as I'm freezing my ass over here at night. So I basically stayed by the fire, and I was adamant about this fire never going out. On both my seasons, I started a fire and it never went out from day one. Never.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, like, that when I watch seasons where, like, the fire goes, I go, what are they doing? It's easy to keep your fire going. Just, take everyone gets those iron pots, and you can cover that pot and stoke it up. It'd have to be like we never had like a crazy rain for like 4 days straight, something where maybe that probably would have happened, but
would have wiped it out.
Yeah. Where it just wipes it out. Or I don't think in these new seasons, like, their fire's always out. I'm like, well, what are they doing? The iron skillet and put it over the top of the coals. Those coals will stay hot for 4 or 5 hours.
And it's like the most important thing to have is your fire.
Yeah, it was. I'm like, I do not want. That's the only thing. It's like I didn't want to be cold, and I was cold.
Well, and that's one thing that I don't think a lot of fans realize is that at night it gets really freaking cold.
Really cold. And shivering.
And there's a breeze. It's freezing. Like, I was shivering a few times. Like, I was adamant about, like, I don't want to be cold. That's my spot, and everyone knew, like, right there. That's Troyzan's spot. Don't get in. Get out of the way. I'm sleeping next to the fire. And if it would go down, I'd wake up. So I would wake up 6, 7, 8, whatever, how many times a night, and go get a log or get a stick or get whatever I could to keep the thing going.
We like snuggled. We were all just such good little snugglers because we were freezing, and it was the body heat. And so you don't realize, I think when I used to watch, I was like, oh, how can they snuggle together? They don't even know each other, and blah, blah, blah. Well, because if you don't, you're going to die. You need to do it. It's insane.
Wow. Honestly, anything. The first time I saw someone totally nude was Jonas. He just was walking out buck naked, I'm like, okay, hey, we're on Survivor now. So then I'm like, well, that's freedom. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. It was just like little by little, everyone's peeing and poop. It just doesn't matter anymore. Like, you just don't, nothing. It's like you want to snuggle because you want to keep warm. Hey, let's do it. I mean,
and you just really don't care. You stop caring about everything.
It never seemed like sensual or sexual to me. No. Any girl that snuggle up, I'm like, for one, people's like, well, don't you ever get all fired up out there? Like the hot girls or the hot guys. I'm like, listen, I said, no, you're so tired. You almost like, this is probably, I'm starting to think like, I hope to God everything works when I'm done with this show, because nothing's working now like it used to work in the morning. What I mean? And I'm like, I hope it works, because it's like nothing's happened for 30 days. Then it's like I played 39 days. So it's like, I was like, okay, I'm going home and I'm making sure, because I don't. I tell you, I'm zero desire. I'm not
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
anybody.
The people who have in the past, I'm like, I really don't know how, because you are so exhausted, and
Exhausted.
you're gross
You
and
smell bad.
Effort to me. I did. I mean, zero libido, just none.
Yeah.
No desire for that. I was like,
Mhm.
a girl could stand in front of me buck naked. I'm like, okay, I mean, what are you dressing? What are you doing? No big deal. Like, I just like this. So people, I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
People out there. I mean,
so your first season, you said you did 30 days, right?
Yeah.
And then it was 39 the second time. That's 69 days in the jump. Damn.
I know. It's like I need to get off that number though. I need to get like 70 something.
What do you need to get past 7? There's 26 now, so 70, 89.
Yeah.
I can't do the math right now. I'm trying to think of how it would be to get to the end of 26 days. 26 days seems like a cakewalk compared to 39, though.
Glad you said that. I mean, I know all of us old schoolers are like, okay, 26 days. I hear you. You say it's the same and you starve them and this and that. I will always be like, it's not the same. I don't care how much starving they do. To go an extra 26 days on 20, I felt like I was just getting going on both. It's like, okay, day 20, it's like was our merge. I'm just getting started here. So to go 6 more days, I'm like, well, that's nothing. And it can't assimilate starving for 2 more weeks, which seems like 2 months. You can't like not sleeping. And the strategizing part, which is 24 hours a day.
Go crazy.
It's like you're constantly going, what's happening? Who's doing this? What are they doing? You can't, your brain is getting fried more. So, and I said, like, Jeff, it's not the same. It's like if I said to you, an NFL football game has always been 4 quarters. It's 15 minutes long. It's 4 quarters forever. And the field is 100 yards long and 50 yards wide. Now this year, guess what? We're going to say we're only going to play 3 quarters, and there's the field on both sides, and we're going to call it the same game. It's not the same game. It's not.
It's good.
It's not the same game. It's similar, but it's not. And I feel bad for some of the newbies. They're like, yeah, well, you're only playing 26 days. Well, that's what they were given. I get it, but they'll never know 39.
Well, and I think too, doing it in the same place over and over again. For me, I'm like, I loved the part about Survivor where they went to different places and did different things. It wasn't the same. I don't know. It almost feels like Groundhog Day to me a little bit. Now, I love the people, and I think that makes the show. You know what I mean? But the actual environment is a little monotonous to me. I'm wondering if they'll change that.
Stuff the Castaways made the show. I mean, like, Lynn Spillman was the best of the best. What she did, she found anybody and everybody who put the show, on the map, honestly. So there's plenty of outdoor shows or adventure shows or reality shows, but they're not, if you don't have the characters and the people, you don't have a show. So
absolutely.
I mean, I have to have myself on the show like you guys. I mean, legendary. It's like, I just am like, without us, it's like you don't have the show. And it's like, I just feel like, I wish at some point I know they're saving money, but it's like, to me, it's like, you got to spend money to make money,
Absolutely. Well, and like you said, Lynn Spillman, she was freaking great at her job. She found the most, I was saying yesterday that Lynn Spillman is responsible for some of the greatest reality television personalities of all time. And that's a pretty crazy accomplishment if you think about it.
Because she just knew people and she knew the dynamics. It was one of those where it's like, she knew that America would be like, I hate this person. Oh God, terrible. But guess what? You're watching the train wreck. She knew it wasn't like kumbaya. People aren't, it's a little kumbaya lately to me. And it's
very kumbaya. Yeah.
Like that. It was like, we wanted to watch, even though we didn't like some of the things that happened, or someone was an asshole, or someone's like, I'll burn the rice, or we still watched because we're engaged with that. Like, it's like, we want to watch. I mean, this, I don't like villains things anymore. Like, no, there's always has to be hero and a villain. That's the story of life. Good versus evil. That's what it is. That's why people watched. That's why they were like this. It's like from the very beginning, from Richard Hatch saying, I got this, and he's running around naked, and I'm like, people eating rats. Like, what's that?
And you have to have someone to root for and against. That's
Yes.
what brings the viewers in. Nobody wants to see everybody sitting around holding hands the whole time, which is why I think last season was such a dud. No offense, really, to those people, but like they were so nice to each other that nothing happened.
No,
Can I say something though, and tell me what you guys think of this? Like, I feel like, especially here in the US right now, we're all just sort of traumatized by life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's so much crap going on in the world that I think, like, I think Jeff is trying to give people an escape and show people like we can get along. You know, it's like he's trying to make it a, a
happy,
kinder,
kinder, happy place. It's like
to make people feel like they're escaping the reality of what
Totally.
is our United States.
I would agree with that because there is like a lot of this now, just over everything.
Yeah.
It's like no one can have a difference of opinion. No one can have, like before it was like, yeah, okay, you believe something different than me, or you're politically
Cool.
different. I don't need to bash you in the face. I don't need to, it doesn't have to get to like where I hate somebody's gut or like I will not speak to you because of this. Like I'm open to everybody.
Yeah.
And I think the majority of people that are common sense people are like, listen, I can listen to you. I don't agree with everything, but like now it's almost like it's, well, we know why.
Yeah.
We're kind of dancing around it, but yes, we know why.
But yeah, we know exactly why. And it's like you said, it's like
hopefully like we'll get back to where it's like, one of those things. And it affected Survivor. And I think Jeff's like, well, I need to show everyone singing, everybody's happy. And no, we like to watch when someone exited or got voted out. They look back and they were like, F you guys. Now they're like, have a good time. Everybody's good. I hope you have a great day.
Love you. Like
I totally understand why you voted me out.
Like, come on.
For the kumbaya moments. It was just, they didn't do it. They, whether or not by human nature, we like to watch a car accident. Why does everybody stop on the freeway and go like this? Even though, oh my God, the fire, there must be terrible death. Oh, but I'm still looking. I'm not turning my eyes. It's like they watch sensationalized TV show, news, whatever. There's like
true.
The news.
You have to have the conflict or it's not entertaining.
First 10 stories are bad, or something that, something bad happened, or something,
shock factor.
It's like, it's not like, oh, let's go. And the last story is the good, the story about, monkeys or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think about like Russell. He keeps coming to my mind because there's nothing redeeming or good about this man, in my opinion. And watching him was a nightmare, but I couldn't not watch because I wanted to see him fail. Like, it wasn't about me watching because I liked him, but I could not look away. I needed him to not win that show. And I needed to see when he had to walk away without the prize.
Which is why he's one of the best villains of all time.
Exactly. Like, it's like, I hate to say it, but he's good TV,
Well, yeah, but there was a lot of people like you. That's good viewership. I mean, the bottom line is CBS is like, what's the ratings? What if our ratings are up? Guess what? We're making money. I mean, that's basically the bottom line. Yeah. Are we making money with our advertising? Are our ratings high? The ratings are like, I look at the ratings. I mean, I think all the Survivors in a very important part of our lives, and it's like, like we want to protect it. We don't like
protective. Yeah.
We like something changed. We don't like it. Like, what are you doing that for? It wasn't broken. What are you doing? On a lot of different things. I mean, I can go one by one. It's a lot. And I'm just like, why? You didn't have to change that. It's like everyone, granted, people are still watching now. They're getting like new viewers, but they only know the good, happy Survivor. They don't.
The new era.
They go back but they are a lot of them going back and, going on Hulu or wherever you Prime and watch, rewatch seasons.
Mm-hmm. It's different. But you know what? I do think, as in life, like, things change and it's hard. It's hard when things change. We want it to stay the same. That was familiar and it felt great to us. But you know what? There's a new crop of fans. There's a new crop of players. And they're doing, I think, the best they can with the literal hellscape that we call the United States. I feel like they're trying. And I appreciate that. I like that they're using, telling the stories of people. I wish they would let the people tell those stories instead of like, doing the flashbacks and stuff. But
I like when the story comes from the island and someone tells it, not this.
Yes.
You moment. That takes away from the show for me. We all have our moments in life, but we just told them when we were out there, and it happened to come up about,
and it was a natural thing.
Yes, like let's flash back and let's do this story about something. And let's take, to me, that's another 5 minutes of like, let's show camp life. What, in a sense, like we all have our backstories, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like, does that, I don't want that to influence the person watching, think like, well, I like them more because I've seen their backstory. If they didn't have a backstory, then I'm just watching them on the show and watching what they're doing and interacting with other people. And then I can root for that, because we all, you know, root for a specific person. And I feel like it's just, I don't know. It's like, I also think this, okay, it's still on the air. So there must be
doing something right.
Right. There's something must be going right. They must know something, you know. Granted, almost I'd say 99% of the fans I speak to all the time, and former survivors, are all like 39 days, you know, survivor, not all this extra stuff. You know, we don't need this extra things to keep track of an advantage, this advantage, that advantage.
Oh my God. So much of that.
There's too much. It gets to the point where it's like, oh, okay.
Well,
I can't keep up with it.
Like, okay, I watch the show. I can somewhat follow that. And people that are survivors can, or you're like the super duper fan who knows everything. But like the casual fan that loves to watch, like my parents.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what's going on. I can't keep like, what's all this new stuff? He goes, I have advantage. And then they have the list of what somebody has, what and what they're doing.
Yes.
And I'm like, you should. He goes, I can't. I used to be able to follow it easy. I like this guy, that guy. That's like old school. Like, I just felt like the old school, even when they were the, you know, theme, like China or Tocantins or whatever. We knew almost everybody. I mean, we knew the person that got voted out first till the winner. And it's like we were zoned in too, like, well, this isn't China. It's cool. Like the whole feeling of like where they were. And it's just, I felt like the fans, the TV viewers, knew the players better. Now it's like, as sad as it is, it's like, I don't know if someone was on 41 or 49.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40.
Well, they're also being called by the number.
That's really hard. At first I was okay with it. Like, I was like, whatever. But now when it's like, wait, were they on 43, 46, 48? I don't know. It's really hard.
Someone says someone's name, I go, who's that? And what season? Oh,
Yeah.
43. I said, they could have been on 45, 42. I have no idea. All the 40s, sorry, are all smooshed together for
It's
me.
one big season.
One big thing.
Giant newbie season there. You know, it's not their fault.
No, it's not.
I just feel like, I wish Jeff would just listen. I would love to sit down with like 20 just old school people in front of Jeff. Just listen to us for a second. If it's
for just a second,
just one season, just one, and see how it does. Just go back to normal for one season with the 39 days in a new location, a very vastly, you know, different cast.
Right.
You know, people are very different, have different stories, different walks of life, and just see what happens and take away all the advantages. Except I really like the hidden immunity idol. That's fun.
It's good. You know, it lit to a limited amount, you know.
Yeah. The idols are great to have. You just don't need 43 of them.
You like to find it in the middle of the night in the pitch black. We're like, come on, you really found that? Yeah. Okay, I got it.
So, okay, Troyzan, I have a question for you. Okay, you've done 2 seasons of Survivor. Were they different? Were you different? And are you the same guy that went into the game that came out of the game?
Good question.
Well, okay, so my first season was just the thrill, and it was like the adventure. I got a lot of good edits.
Yeah.
I was shown a lot. It's like, for the most part, people liked me. It's kind of like, you know, hey, you're Troyzan, you're the guy. Yo, this is my island, right? Don't F with me. I'm like, yeah, that's me. So like, if that's all you remember, great, because I feel like fans only remember certain things. They don't remember every little detail you did. But if they can remember one thing, we're like, you know, oh, you're that guy. Hey, that's fine with me.
Yep.
You know, and then I was up for like 4 other seasons before I played my second season. So right out when I got back in September, because we played back my first season, like all of August, part of September. So end of September, I get a call. Hey, Troyzan, this is, I forget who it was. Steven, I think, was this cast.
Steven, yeah.
He's like, you want to play again? I go, what? Like now? when? He goes, no, like, you want to play? Like, I go, of course, yeah, let's go. But I was like, I just got back. It was like still in my brain. We're like, you're tired and you're kind of like worn out. You know how you, because the brain is. It's just
Yes.
But I said, yeah, I'll do it. So I was up for that season, and they just drug me along until like almost the finale. And then I think because Malcolm did really well in the following season, he kind of took my spot for the return, like Fans versus Favorites, the one that Cochran won. So I was up for that. Then I was up for Blood versus Water with my brother.
Really?
And I was right to the finals. They said, send your clothes. And I called my brother. I said, send your clothes means we're on, bro. So get ready. It's a week out. We're doing this thing. It's going to be awesome. And he didn't really know anything about Survivor. What do I do? I go, just you'll get it. And then they called me back and said, sorry, we have 4 people from one world. It's not going to work. It won't be fair to you. It won't be fair. I'm like, who made it? They always got Kat in. So it's Monica, Kat, and Colton. I'm like, oh, I was
seriously.
They're like, well, you can be an alternate. And Steven, I said, fuck that. I'm not a fucking alternate. I'm pissed off right now. I thought I was going. Like, he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. He's just the messenger. So I said, listen, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just mad. So, and then I was up for second chances where the vote thing, which I don't really was a vote, but that's my own.
No, because I'm sorry, you and T-Bird both should have been on.
It was to me, it's like one of those things too, like where I feel like you're not going to leave America up to just you're the only people they're going to cast. Like, what if they decide to pick like, oh, we're America, we're picking an all-white cast. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, it's just not. So like, the votes counted for something, but it was the producers and Jeff's final word who's on that show, because you can see it's perfectly picked. 2 old guys, 2 young bucks, 2 young, 2 Asians, 2 whatever it was. It's like it's perfectly picked. I'm in the audience waiting for that, and that's embarrassing because you're like, you're not going to go on, because I had a feeling like I know I'm not in, and I heard Jeff.
That would be hard.
Like, it's going to be great, it's going to be like, well, sorry, whoever doesn't make it, sorry, but America doesn't like you. And I'm like, that's what you think, Jeff? Okay, fine. Listen here, MFer, I'm going to get on live audience. I'll tell you exactly how. If you want drama, I'll give you some drama. And I told Lynn, she goes, you can't do that. I said, well, I'm not even going to come. I'm not coming out to LA. I'm not going to go through that just so you can embarrass us. She goes, you have to come. I said, I don't have to do anything. It's like, she goes, please come. Just go. You're the only person that's like knows how this is working. I said, yeah, I figured it out. So I went. I said, I'll take the high road. I'll smile. I'll do the thing, because I know at some point I'll probably play again. So I'm not going to ruin it. So Jeff, like, sorry you didn't make it, blah, blah, blah. I went up to the stage. I shook everybody's hand that made it on that bus. And then we got on the losers bus.
The losers bus.
And then the next
Troyzan, did you know that Steven called me for both of those as well?
See that,
for
yes.
Second Chance and Blood versus Water, and I didn't make it. So we were this close to playing together.
Everything's crazy.
And it's almost like, it's those things where it's like, look back, it's like, yeah, I mean, I was, you're bummed, right, when you don't make it, because you really, when they call you, like, okay, I'm in. You automatically think that because you're a survivor, and you're like, okay, I'm number 1, and I'm good, I'm ready to go, and then you don't. But
yeah,
then the next year they called me again and said, hey, first of all, you're mad at us. I go, well, I get stay mad for like a week. Then I just get like, okay, I'm going to
whatever.
Yeah, just focus again. I create, I meditate. I create something in my head. Like I just see myself playing. And they called and said, you're up again, blah, blah, blah. You got to go through the same thing, go to LA. And this, I'm like, oh, geez, okay. And I did it. And then when they called and said I was in, I was like, I just was like, oh my God. And it's all returner. And I had an idea who was returning, because I saw like Tony at the doctor's, and I'm like, that's Tony. He's so short.
He is. He's so short.
TV and
strong, but mighty.
They don't look the same in real life, And then when I see other people, I saw Cerise, so I'm like, okay, she's in. So I had an idea who I was going to be playing with, and I thought, well, geez, I'm playing with people that are like, legendary and names in Survivor. I mean, I played with Tony, Sandra, Cerise, Ozzy, JT. I mean,
literal legends of the game.
I mean, what else would I want? Like, I mean, and then even Andrea was her 3rd time, and she's super popular, and it was like one after another, Malcolm. And I'm like, well, dude, what show? I mean, if I picked a season, I want to be on that one. The only thing was this Game Changer name that just threw everybody off. They're like, well, because I'm like, well, I played my first season. I'm not a Game Changer. Game Changer to me is like Russell Hantz. He changed the game.
Yes, he did.
He changed. Some people changed the way the game was played just by what they did, and those are game changers. And they're like, I get it from the fans. Well, you're not a game changer. Like, well, no shit. But you think I'm not going to play it? They asked me to play. I don't care what you call it.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Chicks and dicks. I'm in. Hey, there you go. Whatever. I said, like, I don't name the show. I said they should have said, because they actually had a lot of people that were supposed to play that didn't. Like Natalie Anderson was supposed to play. She got replaced. And then there was a lot of people like their first time. Like, are they game changers? They should have just said, Survivor, the game has changed, and then call it that. Just not game changer, because everybody wasn't a game. And they, they would interview us. Well, how are you a game changer? So you'd have to come up with some fake, I'd like, well, I yelled this and I didn't say no.
Well, you look like you belong in the jungle. Like you really do. You look like you belong in the jungle. So I think in a way, you were a whole new, I guess, Castaway. You were a whole new persona that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Like when they saw me, like, well, he's like a coach. I go, I'm not really nothing like Coach. I mean, like, Coach and I are like look similar. We're not even close to the same.
no.
Because you have long hair doesn't mean you're anything alike, because you're not.
He's an older guy, blah blah blah. Like, I'm not like Coach though. Like I like Coach. I talked to him on the phone, but I'm not like I like him. So I'm glad I kind of got to prove that, like, just be who I was. And my first edit, like when I get going, like I'll like branch off. You'll ask me a question, I'll be like,
you're great. We're following.
Okay.
We all have ADHD. I think that's another thing that they make sure you have before you get on the show. Do you have ADHD? Perfect. You're going to be great.
I probably have a little bit of it, but
I think you do, my friend.
Because he's going to start talking about ADHD.
I have to like really try to focus in on one thing. Like, go off on the tangent, then I'm out on the branch way away.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So, but my first season was it was an adventure. I loved that I had a really good edit, and they really showed a lot of my game. Like I was like, okay, this episode I did this, and they showed it. I'm like, great. So it was a lot. And I didn't know this until this year. This is and I don't want to sound like this is an ego thing. We all have, all the survivors have huge egos.
Of course, yes.
Didn't, we all think we're the best. We all think we're leaders. We all think we're going to win, but we can't.
There can only be one.
Right. We are that, and we all think we're like, oh, we're normal. We're not. We know we're not normal. No. We're not small walking down there. We know that. So I didn't realize there's, these Survivor fans, and they do these different, who won the most challenges, or who found the most idols, or this. And one guy was saying, like, who had the most confessionals in a season, and they would list it, Tony 55% over the whole season, or who had the most in one episode, who had the biggest percentage of confessionals in one episode. And they say, by far and above, Troyzan has the highest percentage of confessionals in one episode ever in all of any season. 55% on season, or my first season, on episode 10. I'm like, I had no idea. And he goes, it's 75. And the closest is like something with like 55% or 52%. So he's like,
that's incredible.
I know. It's like I didn't have the most, like 20, but I had, as far as like say there were 25, I had 75% of those confessionals. I had
That's a lot.
Well, I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's a good what is it, title to have, or like,
well, I mean, because we all want to be taught. We want to win. Like, honestly, like we all want to win. So it's like when we don't win, it's if you can get some kind of tap on the shoulder, it's like it feels good. I mean, my second season, my final tribal council speech was like a long, drawn out, probably 10-minute speech of like, I knew I wasn't going to win. I knew that they were really, it was a new format. Sarah and Brad were getting all the questions. They were basically saying, like, in so many words, I'm voting for you. I mean, 3 of them said that straight up. So I'm like, the chances of, okay, so I'm just going to be like, listen, I just want to do a speech here. Just let me talk. I said, Jeff, I'm going to throw out the bullshit. This is just Troy talking now. And I'm talking to the people that gave me this adventure. And I went one by one, but to each jury member, I said, remember, and I told a story, a personal story of what we did on the island, what we talked about, with Ty, like catching this eel and blood all over his hand and him starting to cry and kissing me on the cheek. And then I went to Andrea and I said, every morning you wake up and we'd be like, oh, we'd be bored. And we'd just go, whatever, like the same symbol. And then I went to Suri, and then each person had told this personal story. I said, without you guys, I would never have this adventure. I needed all of you, even if it was like a negative or whatever. It's like, I didn't have this adventure by myself. So I just want to applaud you. I said, I never would have thought back in 2000, when I flipped on my TV and watched Richard Hatch run around naked and people eating rats, like whatever this is, I need to be a part of. If you would have told me, I would have played twice and then played with legendary players. And I looked at Ozzy and Suri and everybody that was on the jury. And I'm like, you guys made it. You did the whole thing. And so at the end, when I was done, I'm like, I'm out. I'm good. And they gave me a standing ovation. The jury did. They didn't show it in the edit.
Yeah.
Jeff, after the show was done, he goes, come here, Troyzan. He goes, listen, I've done now 34 final tribal councils. I've never heard a speech like that ever. It's the best I've ever heard. He goes, I'm going to try to my best to play as much as I can, but I just want to let you know that was the best. You from the heart. I've never heard anything like it. And I said, well, Jeff, I said, I know I didn't win. It's like, we're coming from you and you saying that. That's
your pat on the back.
All I need for that season. Because, it sucks to get no votes. It sucks to get like a bad edit. I'd really like no edit my second season. And it's like, you want it to be your second season to be great. You're thinking like, I made it all to 39th day. I should have some edit. I should be because I took a huge effort to get there and it just wasn't shown. And you're like, oh my God. Like, it still feels a little lit like,
yeah.
I feel like I hear that from people who have played multiple times a lot, because they go out there and they'll play and they'll have all of these incredible moments and then it just won't get shown. And I think that's the hardest part about a returning season is everybody, like you said, Troyzan, everybody thinks that they're the greatest and the best, but it really is so unfortunate that, back then also we didn't have 90-minute episodes, we had 45 minutes of TV.
That's all I had for Game Changers. So it was like,
it's such a shame.
It's kind of the dice you roll when you accept to go back a second time, because you're playing with all returners. They're going to show all returners a lot. Like in a normal season, when you're voted out first, second, or third, you don't get a big edit. You just kind of like put aside, and the big edit gets to people that make the merge, or the winners, or the top 3 or 4. They get the bigger edit because this just like the normal season. With returners, they have to show Tony. They have to show Tony a lot. So guess what? Tony's all the first and second episode a lot, and my game or anybody that made it's not seen. And then it's the same. And then the next person go, we got to show Andrea a lot. We got to show Sierra Easton a lot. We got to show JT a lot. So it's like every episode you're not getting your stuff. There's only so much room.
Yeah.
So it's changed where it's like, Ozzy's the dominant, challenge beast. And so guess what? It's like, I hit a target out. I know that's my target, but guess what? They make it look like Ozzy hit it out.
That happened to me. That happened to me with James.
I don't even get like credit for it. I was supposed to get credit for basically this advantage that Cerise supposedly stole from Sarah, and they didn't know what was going on, and it went back and forth. And Jeff's like, "Well, did you take it from her? Did you take this advantage or you're not?" And Sarah's like, "Well, it's not hers, and she didn't get it." And it was one of those where like Jeff didn't even know what was going on with this advantage that Cerise was going to play, that supposedly she got from Sarah. And Sarah said, you stole it and blah, blah, blah. And I just remember Jeff going, he was like, he didn't know what to do. And they were going to vote Sarah out. And she was in my alliance. I'm like, oh my God, this can't happen. So I remember Jeff saying, when Cerise read this note, said something about there's something. I said, Jeff, stop for a second. There's something in that note. I think I heard the word non-transferable. I'm not sure, but I'm almost sure I heard non-transferable. So he goes, well, Cerise, reread that. And this is all edited out. So it's all, she reads it and they show part of the edit. The word this is non-transferable, meaning like she can't take it.
Right.
So then Sarah says, yeah, see, it's non-transferable. You see that. You see it on the air. So they make it look like Sarah said it instead of me. I got zero credit for basically bringing it up. changed the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's like, I mean, I do get it. I didn't get any votes, and that's the jury. That's the dice you roll. You say, I'm going to play a certain game. Either the jury likes it, they respect it, or they don't. They didn't see, they didn't see my game. I'd say 80% of the jury started on a different tribe in the beginning, so they didn't see me
do what you did.
Yeah.
I was the big part of Tony. I mean, like the part. I told Sandra at night, come over here. She's got to go. Same with Sierra Easton. She's got to go. They just didn't see it. So, it's like, you wish people.
That's frustrating. That's frustrating.
People saw it on TV, because then you get the smart asses like, oh, did Troyzan even play? Did he play a second season? I'm like, all right, I get it.
Yeah. Troyzan, the same thing happened to me. They didn't show any of my gameplay. They only showed when I talked about God.
They didn't show any of Leslie's gameplay.
So, and it's frustrating.
I know it, because you're like, you really worked to get to where you were. And I tell people all the time, it's like you, Leslie, you just didn't sit around eating coconuts and get to where you were and do what you did. It's like, it's not true. I mean, we are all doing a lot. And if we're in a group of people and say there's 6 of us and I make a suggestion, Andrea, she's got to go. But the winner says something like, Sarah's the winner of the show. They know that. And she goes, yeah, I agree. Andrea's got to go. You hear those words.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you know what? It's funny. Doug, one of the producers, told me after I was voted out, we had like this party, at the Ponderosa, and he came up to me and he was just telling me that Survivor is like a book and each episode is a chapter. He said, so you're chapter 3 of the book Survivor China. I was voted out 3rd. Right. So you're chapter 3. So we need to be able to show you as much as possible in the first 3 chapters, because you don't last that long, but we really like who you are. And he's like, and so when you look at each one and you see like who is making the most, who is the biggest characters in the book, you're going to see more and more of them. But if they go the whole game, you're going to see a little less probably in the beginning chapters. Right. And so that's probably what happened. They probably were like, well, and I think when you have the 3 at the end, it's really hard to make a chapter, the final chapter be fair, because you can't, there's too many people.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I wish they would just go back to 2, because 3 has never been this like, oh my God, there's been such a close time. 3 is just
2 seasons have had it. 2, and it's been our season where it was 4-2-1 in the vote, and then last season 4-2-1, right, and that's it. Most of the time it's like,
I know, it's
a sweep and boring.
It's not worth it. Just get the 2 in, and then you can just focus on it. I feel like it would be a lot closer. It'd be a little more excitement. I think the 3 is like, get rid of it.
I just feel bad for the 3rd one, like you, and usually it's a woman. But in yours, for some reason, you were the scapegoat. Like there's always somebody who is that 3rd one that doesn't get the votes.
Seasons.
And it sucks.
The 0 vote finalists, there's a lot of good players.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot. Like I've looked at it, it's like, hell, have that be a season.
That would be really incredible. Actually, if they took a bunch of 3rd placers, that would be really freaking good, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
You know how hard we would want to play to actually win and get credit for like what we feel like we didn't get credit for. So it's like, dude, I got no problem with that at all.
I think that would be such a cool
That would
season.
Be so fun. Let's submit something to CBS and tell them, of course, I don't know if they'll listen, but they might. You never know.
I would like to see a pre-jury versus runner-up season. So like someone who made it to the finals and someone who was pre-jury. I think that would be extreme gameplay, because everybody wants to prove something.
Yeah. I mean, I made the mistake my 2nd season where it's like, okay, Troy, you made it 30 days, but guess what? Your goal here is to win. Especially my 2nd time. I'm like, I want the adventure, but now like $1 million means a lot to me. So I need to win. Well, the only way you can even get close to winning is you got to get to the 39th day. If you get to 38 and you're out, guess what? That doesn't count. So my sole focus is like, get to the 39th day. And I forgot about like, well, am I building this resume that everybody talks about?
Right.
This thing, am I doing everything right? And in my mind, as I'm playing, like, well, I've always kind of been on the bottom from almost since day one. Like, I think that I've shown like how I stay in the game. My social game was the best. That it got me to where I would, and I acted as if I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just Troyzan out here having fun, the goofy old Uncle Troy. I do goofy stuff on purpose so that I would not be a threat. And I even told people at the final jury, I said, listen, you never wrote my name down. Why? You never thought I was a threat. I wanted you to think that. That was you didn't see that. So it's one of those things where it's, what are you going to do? After a while, you're just going to kind of like, listen, you played 2 seasons and they smooshed Troyzan into just one giant ball. Like, this is how he played. It's like they don't remember every little about season, my second season where I didn't seem like they just kind of remember like Troyzan as a whole. So that's fine.
Yeah. Well, so what are you doing now, Troyzan?
Sitting around the house with no shirt on, just
I was gonna
shooting the shit with us.
You're so on brand with how you're looking right now, just FYI.
I'm semi-retired. Well, I just went on a cruise with Todd, so that was outstanding. We had a blast. I mean,
It was great.
Yeah, I love doing stuff with the fans. It's like, only because I say I'm still a big fan myself, and I know how they feel when they meet a survivor, because I know how I felt if I didn't play and Richard Hatch shows up on and I get to meet him and shake his hand and say hi, or Todd, I'm like, I would have freaked out. I mean, I freaked out the first time that anybody even knew me, because my first season I thought, I'm not really a survivor. I know I played. I went to the the New York finale, and I didn't win. I was kind of bummed, and like, this isn't really like what I thought I'd feel like. I thought I'd be like way happier. I just didn't win. And I was supposed to, I was up for like the fan favorite thing where they give you $100,000 sprint, fan favorite. And people were like, you're going to win that. You're a fan favorite. Even Jeff's girlfriend and his dad's like, you're going to win this fan favorite, man. We love watching you. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to win, really? And then I don't win that. I'm like,
who won that?
Kim. She won everything. And I was just like,
oh.
But I was also kind of like, just get me out of here. I want to go home. I feel like my survivor experience is actually kind of crappy after that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Troyzan. That sucks.
I feel bummed out. I mean, in all honesty, I was just like, this isn't what I expected. I expected to win. I expected to be just more. And not until I went to a charity event in Orlando, the Give Kids the World. And I showed up that season and sitting at a table with Richard Hatch, Sandra, Danny Boatwright, Tom Westman, all these winners. Like, I think Todd, you might have been there too. And they were all Nina West, and they're all like, Troyzan, oh my God, come over here. And I was like, what? They know my name. Like, they were yelling, like, huge fans. I'm like, these are winners, these are legendary people in my, I have a trading card of Richard Hatch in my drawer back then. I ever played that. It's a big deal. So I'm like, at that point, it changed my entire feeling of like, now I am a survivor. I'm part of this
family.
Which reminds me, are you going to be there in December at the Over the Edge?
Yeah, I'll drive up. Yeah, I would have a blast. I loved reconnecting with this survivor people.
Yeah, I'll be there too.
Since that first thing when it happened and they're yelling my name, I just was like, you know me, really? And you like, we love the way you played. You didn't give it. You didn't take no shit. Blah blah blah. Everyone was against you. I'm like, really? You saw that? I'm like, oh, because
we all get it. We all get it.
And that was kind of like, people like, were you portrayed as you? I said, yeah, that was really, I mean, for the most part, that was me. I wasn't like, oh, that's not me, or I got a bad edit or whatever. Even some of the stuff where it's like, I probably shouldn't have said, when I got mad, like all the girls were ganging up on me and like, well, that's the typical girl. She's just going to get her house and get her car and get all her stuff. And she's just going to divorce the guy. And people are like, that's not a good thing. I'm like, well, I was mad. I know. You got to realize I was, could I take it back? Yeah. I mean, we've all gotten mad. And
you were caught in a vulnerable moment.
Said stuff that you think, well, I should have maybe thought. But when I'm out there, I was like, I'm not going to filter I'm just going to say what I say.
Yeah.
And yeah, in hindsight, should I have? But I think when people mean, they're like, well, we know you're really not like that. So
yeah. Okay, now I have to ask a question, and you're probably not going to want to answer it.
Okay.
Because I hear you have a new friend, and there are rumors, and she's hot. And I'm just curious, what's going on with Miss Carolyn? Well, that was awkward. You're probably wondering if you're listening or even watching. We look a little different, and the reason is because we had to redo the end of this podcast. As soon as I asked that question, that really important question, Troyzan, everything went wonky. And then I was like, wait a minute, what? So like the rest of the podcast was a hot mess. And so we are re-recording just the very end of it. So just a few more minutes with us. But Troyzan, I'm sorry, I am not going to let you off the hook on this one. I think you need to answer the question, what is going on with you and Miss Carolyn?
Gosh, it's like everyone wants to know. We connected on this cruise we did with Todd, was like for the fans. It's like we did this newlywed game on the ship. So that was kind of like the start of, is something going to happen? And I'm more like private, like I don't need to have everyone know what I'm doing or who I'm with or whatever. But we've been hanging out a lot. Like, there's the age differences. And it's getting used to like a whole different generation. Like just you grow up differently. I mean, she's in a different world than I was. We grew up, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't text to have conversations. And that's something I have to get used to. And we just didn't do, there was no social media. There wasn't any of that stuff. So it's like getting used to kind of that. But we were talking on the phone for like a couple of years, ever since her season. But we really didn't meet each other face to face till the cruise. And it's like, wow. Cruise, because she came out. I thought for sure, like, oh my God, hey, hug me. It was like she gave me a hug. She goes, God, you're so skinny. I go, that's the first thing out of your mouth. It just ran off and just went flitting around. She's like talking to everybody. I'm like, what? And plus, you live in two different cities. You can't just talk the face. I can't just call her, hey, I'm coming over. Hey, let's go out to dinner.
Yeah, that's tough. I hope it works out because I adore you, and I haven't met her yet. But I tell you what, I cannot wait.
Send us some good energy because I think we need it.
Okay, yeah, you probably do. Yeah. I would say. Well, thank you for sharing that because I know we're not the only ones who were wondering. I mean, what a great human connection you two have made, and I can't wait to meet her.
Like I said, you guys, this podcast was a blast to do. I love both you guys. It's like, and for one, I think I said this before, but the podcast to me was just more like a great conversation between people that shared the Survivor in common. And it's like, it's easy for us to just talk about Survivor. And it's like specific questions that you had. It didn't seem fake. It didn't seem like, okay, we're going to ask you, I wrote down a bunch of questions and then
there's our list.
I'm going to talk about the episode. You guys just let me tell my story of how long it took me to get on the show, stuff we had in common about casting and, about Lynn Spillman and just in general. And I just love the fact that even if this wasn't if this wasn't a podcast, we would be sitting down in a coffee shop talking the same way. We wouldn't be different. It's like I'm talking to Todd, I'm talking to Leslie. This is the way we talk and I think everyone should know this is really the way we do talk when we get together and start talking about Survivor. We're always kind of like, we just get this like, talk about
right.
We tell our story, and it's like we think everyone knows like everything about it. We really don't.
No, we really don't. No. We only know what we saw on TV, so it's so fun to get to know who you are beyond the torch. And also, I think what's really kind of cool is that when you hear the story of the person, you get to make your own decision, not what you think of them instead of what the producers are trying to show you about them. And I love that.
It's so true. I honestly, I can't wait for people to hear this podcast. I can't wait for people to hear your story because I've met you in person a couple of times, but having you just tell your story about starting way back in Africa, I was like, are you kidding me? And then I always tell people that you're hilarious and that you are a totally talkative person.
Sweetheart.
But this is like a chance for people to witness it and understand and just really like we do.
Yeah.
Not so much if they want to go on the show, but just hope in general that listen, the only person stopping you from doing anything is you. And if that's your choice, then that's fine. But I just knew nothing was going to stop me. I was, unless the show went off the air. So I'm kind of like that, never give up. I don't know if I should actually I was talking to my sister. She goes, you should start doing some of the, maybe you want to be a public speaker. You want to do inspirational speaking. I go, maybe I should. I hour story I can tell, why not? Because her husband, he's a preacher and he goes around and he goes, he talks every weekend. So she's like, I think she goes, you have a really good story and you have a good story about your photography and meeting Muhammad Ali and other athletes and, Morgan Freeman on his, just I've met people and
It's a whole nother podcast right there.
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a whole other thing. But like, so I thought like, maybe I should talk to you when the podcast is over about like, how I can start to do that. Cause I know you've probably done that, right?
Yeah. I think
For sure.
your story is incredible. And I mean, it's almost like watching a movie, as you were telling it, I'm picturing it.
And like, I waited 4,000 days.
And can we talk to you too, Troyzan, about how hot your pictures when you were a model? Holy crap. I was like, what? This guy has had the most amazing life. I saw the pictures. I was like, wait, what?
That's funny because, it's like this when I had short hair. It's like people like, and a lot of people are like, that's Troyzan. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. I go, well, I was, 25 years old, I modeled for like 12 years and I did TV commercials as well.
Well, okay, but like, how old are you now?
64.
And you look freaking great.
Yes.
Well,
you're still pulling them in, Troyzan. I mean, one of the hottest women to ever play Survivor.
You were like, why are you less? I said, well, I never had stress. I never got married.
I mean, you don't look even 50. I think you look like you're maybe in your 40s.
Like I go to the pool, right? And you get like the senior discount. You get swim for free, if you're 50. I get swim for free. The lady's like, you're not swim for free. She goes, you're not 55. I go, yeah, I'm way older than that. She goes, come on, let me see your license. I said, you're like 44, 43. Like, yes. She goes, okay, you swim for free. So like, I'm taking advantage of all my senior citizen discount.
That's amazing. That's hilarious. Oh, well, good for you.
I got to get back on the show for a third time's a charm and be the oldest winner ever, right?
Oh, that would be
there you go. I'm here for it.
I am too. I'm fully supportive of that. Do you know what I'm even envisioning now? Like 2 years from now, you and Carolyn on The Amazing Race together.
I know it'd be awesome because her craziness, and I could see her getting to some challenge where she's like, I'm not eating that crazy shit. I can see it for sure.
I can too.
I'd be up for it for sure.
All right, CBS, are you listening?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Well, thank you for being here, Troyzan. You are the absolute best. We have loved having you on this show, and I can't wait to see you in December in Florida.
Well, it's gonna be great. Yeah, it's like your podcast. Can I say that I've watched a couple of your episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, the Lynn Spillman one for sure. I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, I gotta watch this. It's like, it's just really nice to listen to her and to listen to what stuff, even stuff that's like kind of secret stuff, or like they were playing games with like the players and like BSing with like, and think trying to make them think that, because, and I'm like, God, that was me. I was like, is there a hidden camera in my room? Are they just, how it's like everything's kind of like a mystery. You never really know anything. I'm like, they're just effing with us here. Like something's going on. But we all thought the same thing. It was hilarious for her to actually admit it. I'm like, see, I
and they're laughing at us while we're doing that.
Yeah.
So I really hope that this thing goes big. I mean, I hope you guys get tons of guests. And it's been a blast. You guys are just really easy to talk to. The fans are gonna love it. So, fingers crossed.
Thank you for joining us again.
Yes.
And retelling the story. I could talk to you every week. I think it's you're a blast.
All right, my friend. We love you.
Great talking to you.
Okay.
Bye. See ya.
He is the best, isn't he?
I love Troyzan. He's one of my favorite people from the show that I've met in person, and he's so real, so genuine, very much himself, and he's hilarious.
Yeah, every time I've met him, it's been the same. He always made me feel like just part of his family, like from the get-go.
Yes.
Which, I love that. And it does kind of feel like family anyway. It's like found family.
Yeah, I call it the Survivor family, like he's our Survivor cousin.
Yeah, he is, for sure. But that was really fun. And guys, these are the kind of interviews we want to bring to you, the kind that, you're not going to see that side of him out there on an island playing a game for $1 million and slitting people's throats, You're going to be able to see who he really is. And that's what we're going for here on Beyond the Torch. We want you to really understand the human beings behind the characters that you love here on Survivor. So thanks for joining us for another episode. And listen, we want to hear from you, right, Todd?
Yes, absolutely. Please, there's a link that you can go to and leave a voicemail. You can tell us a survivor moment that stood out to you that really made an impact on your life. You can ask us questions, or you can just say hi. Follow the link, leave the voicemail, and you might make our show.
And if you are shy, we get that. We can read your stuff. So just send us an email and I will make sure it gets read so that other people feel seen too. You're not the only one who loves this show so much and that it's changed their life or changed a perspective, even a little one, you know?
Yes.
It's just fun. So thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we will see you right here next week on Beyond the Torch.
Bye-bye.